In the heart of a quiet cobblestone village nestled between rolling green hills, lived a woman named Clara. Her cottage, with its ivy-clad walls and a chimney that puffed gentle plumes of smoke, was a picture of serenity. But inside, Clara often felt a quiet storm of worries, a gentle hum of anxiety that was her constant companion. One gray Tuesday, the kind where the clouds hang low and heavy, Clara felt the familiar weight settle upon her shoulders. The day stretched before her, a long, empty hallway. Instead of letting the feeling take root, she walked into her kitchen. It was her sanctuary, a small, warm space filled with the scent of dried herbs and the promise of creation. Her gaze fell upon a basket of ripe, red tomatoes sitting on the counter, their skins gleaming like polished rubies. An idea, simple and warm, sparked within her: tomato soup. Not from a can, but from scratch, a slow and deliberate process that demanded her full attention. She washed the tomatoes, the cool water running over her hands, grounding her. She chopped them, the rhythmic thump of the knife on the wooden board a steady, comforting beat. She added onions and garlic, their sharp, pungent smells filling the air, cutting through the dullness of the day. As the vegetables softened in a pot with a drizzle of olive oil, a fragrant steam rose to meet her, carrying with it the earthy aroma of the garden. Clara stirred the mixture slowly, watching as the vibrant red of the tomatoes deepened, the ingredients melding together into something new, something wholesome. She poured in vegetable broth, added a sprig of fresh basil from her window box, and let it simmer. The soft bubbling of the soup was the only sound in the kitchen, a gentle lullaby that soothed the frayed edges of her mind. As the soup cooked, Clara felt the knot in her chest begin to loosen. The act of creating, of transforming simple ingredients into a nourishing meal, was a form of magic. It was a way of caring for herself, a tangible act of kindness in a world that often felt overwhelming. She wasn't just making soup. She was crafting a moment of peace. While the soup simmered, she decided to make grilled cheese sandwiches to go with it. She sliced thick pieces of sourdough bread and layered them with sharp cheddar cheese. The sizzle of the butter in the pan was a cheerful sound. She pressed the sandwiches down with a spatula, watching as the cheese melted into a glorious, gooey river, and the bread turned a perfect golden brown. Finally, everything was ready. She ladled the rich, velvety soup into a rustic earthenware bowl, the deep red a stark, beautiful contrast to the gray day outside. She placed the crispy, cheesy sandwich on a plate beside it. Clara sat down at a small wooden table by the window. The rain had begun to fall, tapping softly against the glass, but inside she was cocooned in warmth. She took her first spoonful of soup. It was a burst of flavor, sweet, savory, and deeply comforting. It tasted of sunshine, of the earth, and of her own patient effort. The grilled cheese was crunchy on the outside, soft and decadent on the inside. With each bite, Clara felt the worries of the day recede further. The simple, delicious meal filled her not just with warmth, but with a sense of quiet joy. It was a reminder that happiness doesn't always come in grand, loud moments. Sometimes it's found in the small, deliberate acts of self-care. It's in the sizzle of butter in a pan, the smell of simmering tomatoes, and the first bite of a meal made with love. Looking out at the rain-streaked garden, Clara felt a sense of gratitude. She was grateful for the food, for the warmth of her kitchen, and for the simple, profound power of a home-cooked meal to change her mood. The gray day was still there, but it no longer felt oppressive. Instead, it was a cozy backdrop to her quiet personal feast. She finished her meal feeling nourished in body and spirit. The storm inside her had passed, leaving behind a calm and quiet contentment. Clara learned something important that day. She learned that she had the power to create her own sunshine, not in the sky, but in a bowl. And sometimes a bowl of tomato soup is all the sunshine you need. Later that evening, as she washed the dishes, she thought about her day. It hadn't been a grand adventure. No mountains were climbed, no great mysteries solved. But she had faced her own internal weather and found a way to navigate it. She had turned anxiety into aroma, worry into warmth. The next day, she woke up feeling lighter. The memory of the soup and the quiet joy it brought stayed with her. She started to see her kitchen not just as a place to prepare food, but as a studio for her well-being. When she felt a wave of sadness, she baked bread, kneading her feelings into the dough and watching it rise, transformed. When she felt scattered and unfocused, she made a complex stew, the precise chopping and measuring of ingredients bringing her back to the present moment. Her friends noticed the change. "You seem so peaceful, Clara," her friend Lily said one afternoon over a cup of herbal tea and a slice of Clara's freshly baked lemon drizzle cake. "What's your secret?" Clara smiled, a genuine, easy smile that reached her eyes. "There's no secret," she replied, passing Lily another slice. "I just started listening to what I needed. And sometimes what I need most is a little bit of flour, a pinch of sugar, and the time to create something good." Her cooking became a language of love, both for herself and for others. She would drop off a warm loaf of bread at an elderly neighbor's door or bring a pot of hearty soup to a friend who was feeling unwell. The joy she found in her kitchen began to ripple outwards, touching the lives of those around her. Clara's cottage, once a refuge from her own inner storms, became a beacon of warmth and comfort in the village. The gentle plumes of smoke from her chimney were no longer just a sign of a fire burning, but a signal of contentment, of a quiet life being lived fully, one delicious meal at a time. And Clara, the woman who once felt lost in her own quiet worries, found her way back to herself, guided by the simple, profound, and delicious connection between food, mood, and quiet joy. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please consider liking and subscribing for more cozy tales.